So welcome to this amazing presentation called Presentation Mastery, Speaking, Business, and Life. This is probably one of the most powerful presentations that I've ever delivered. And I'm sharing this with you because it was a huge part of my journey to becoming successful. Type in me in the chat section if you feel you are on the journey to becoming more successful than you currently are. Yes, exactly. Me. Good. Very good. And in order for you to really get the most from this specific presentation, I want you to do the following. Number one, remove distractions. Be totally with me and really listen and observe what I'm saying. Number two, I want you to respond very fast in the chat section. So have your fingers ready on speed typing mode, because I'm going to need you to respond really quick. And of course, if you're not able to respond, then I want you to write down your answers on a piece of paper. Number three, you are going to have your own realizations. It will be different for each person, and it will be a very subjective experience. So I really need you to tune in and really see what comes up for you. Number four, how committed and dedicated are you to improving your current results? On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed and dedicated are you to improving your life results? 10, 7, 10, 10, 10, 10, amazing. 8, excellent. 10, brilliant. Very good. And I need every person responding. Yes, 10, 8, 11, 10, 10, 9, 10, 8, 10, 10, 10. Good. If you're at least an 8 or above, I can guarantee you're going to gain something from what I'm about to share. Even if it's just a couple of things, you will gain something. Number 5, I want you to be real with yourself and with me. So far, is this making sense? Just type in the letter Y in the chat section if this is making sense. Excellent. Good. Very good. Well done. Most importantly, let's have some fun. Because if you're not having fun, life is boring and it's not interesting. So you definitely want to have some fun, and we're definitely going to have some moments filled with fun during this presentation. Are you ready to create your new life for the rest of your life and beyond? Are you ready to create your new life for the rest of your life and beyond? Yes. Lots of yeses. Amazing. Good. Now, let's get serious. We're going to get so serious, we're going to do this. I'm only kidding. I like to have a bit of fun. It's good to have some fun. Cute, right? So, let's keep it real. Let's have fun. Let's focus on improving your results and creating transformation that lasts a lifetime. What do you think is holding you back in your life at the moment? Tell me in a few words, what do you think is currently holding you back in your life at the moment? Limiting beliefs, interesting. Myself, energy, no focus, fear, health challenges. Wow, good answers. I like these answers. Good, we've got a lot of people on here. We've still got 30, almost 35 people. I'm seeing 10 responses. Come on, let's go. Let's move. Remember, I said fast typing, so get ready. We're going to go fast. Recovering from health challenges, myself, money and health, not knowing where to go next, limited motivation, no focus, health. Okay, interesting. Mindset, yes. Limiting conversations, money, yes. Mindset. Tell me one or two of your biggest practical problems that you have. What do you think are one or two of the biggest practical problems that you have? Fear of failure and embarrassment, staying in the comfort zone, lack of sleep, overthinking, yes. Fear of failure, cash flow. Yes. Sleep. That does seem to be a big thing for a lot of people. I know what it's like not to be able to sleep. Being strong introvert, I don't really like to talk with people. Okay. Financial resources, undistracted time, money, focus, analysis paralysis, procrastination of fear, not believing in myself enough, exhaustion, discouragement, managing my whole life after losing my partner or husband, fear of judgment, fear of success, organization, coaching support, lack of community, accountability, definitely cash flow. Okay, good. But what is it really? What's the real problem? Because if you really found the source of your problem, it would cease to exist. It would dissipate. It would dissolve. It wouldn't be there anymore. So very often what I'm saying is that what you think is the actual problem isn't. Because if you really found the source of it, it would literally disappear. So what does that mean? You're looking in the wrong places. You're not actually finding the source of the problem. You're probably finding manifestations and spin-offs, but you're not finding the actual source. And very often, you struggle to know what it really is. And the reason why is because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You're so attached to certain ideas and your view and perception of yourself that you can't often see what's really going on. And it's an unbearable truth. What you'll do is you'll fight it, you'll resist it, you'll get triggered, you'll get upset, you'll get angry, you'll get all kinds of emotions. You won't want to accept it or consider something else. You'll deny it. You want to brush it under the carpet. You'll gossip about it. You'll spread hate and negativity. You'll think you know it all, but your results don't show that. You actually like your problems. Because when you have your problems, it gives you some kind of purpose to overcome them. Because if you really didn't like your problems, guess what you'd do? You'd actually get rid of them. So very often you want those problems. So you've got something to help you keep focused and on track in life. And let's have a look at that. If you don't like your relationship anymore, or your marriage, you'll end the relationship or you'll get a divorce. If you don't like your job and you absolutely hate it, most of the time you have the option to quit. If you're really overweight and you actually wanted to lose weight, I mean, you are no matter what committed, you would find a way to lose weight. But very often, the people who have excessive weight like holding on to that weight. You want love? Well, then you'll start a relationship. Because it's not hard nowadays with all these dating apps to actually start a relationship. Whether it's a good relationship or not, that's questionable. But if you want to start a relationship, you actually can. But often you don't know how to make it successful. Often you don't know how to get the actual results you want. Would you like to know how to remove any problem in your life? Type in me in the chat section if you would like to know how to remove any problem in your life. Because we're going to start exploring that right now. And it's connected to this idea of having missing pieces of knowledge. There are missing pieces of knowledge, and because you have those missing pieces of knowledge, you're not able to actually solve the problems that you have. Let's look at these two components. We've got information versus marketing. Information is where you've got ideas in the form of words, letters, words, and symbols. And when you've got these ideas, it's wonderful having ideas. But the problem is that if they're not implemented, it just stays as information, and information alone is more or less useless. Now, knowledge is the practical application of information in order to get the desired results. I'll give you an example. This is a lighter. Now that's a piece of information. This is a lighter. Just knowing this is a lighter is almost useless, apart from the fact you know it's a lighter. Now, if I say this is a lighter, and the way to use the lighter is the following step-by-step method. You first hold the lighter. Now I want you to hold the lighter. Number two, I want you to put your thumb on this specific metal round rod. And as you put your finger on there, the third step is to push down and press on the black button. So what you then do is do that. When you do that, you should get some kind of light. So I do that and voila, I've now got the light. Now you can use this light to do many things, such as light the gas fire. You can light a candle. You can burn something that you don't want. You can set a house on fire. I highly recommend you don't do that, by the way. But you can do many things, good and bad, now that you know how to use this lighter. Can you see the difference between information and knowledge? Type in Y in the chat section or wow in the chat section if you can clearly see the difference between the two. And most people focus on gathering lots of information, but they don't understand how to use the information in order to get the actual result that they want. And that's why university is very often a big scam. You end up investing hundreds of thousands of dollars or $100,000, pounds, euros plus. You got this massive debt and you don't have the practical application for a lot of the things that you've learned. It's useless. It's crazy. It's just information overload, but there's not much knowledge there because you don't know how to practically apply it. Is this interesting and making sense so far? Is this useful to you? Yes, excellent. And what I'm going to teach you throughout this session is the power of actually using knowledge, because it can really transform your life, really can. So now that you can see the difference between the two, let's look at what life is composed of. There's 8 key areas. Area number 1 is connected to you and your body. Number 2, so everything connected to you and your body, it's the first area of life. Number 2, the second area that makes up life is your family, your biological family. The people that you're biologically connected to, your mother, father, your sister, your cousins, aunties, uncles, etc. Number 3, the groups that you're a part of, your sports group, your social group, your religious or spiritual group, your music group, your counseling group, your friend group. These are all different groups that you're a part of in life. Number 4, society and mankind as a whole. You are connected to every other person on the planet. Every action in some way, shape, or form affects society and mankind. Number 5, all other life forms, animals, plants, bugs, insects. Number 6, the physical universe, MEST, matter, energy, space, and time. And number 7, you as a spiritual being, you beyond this physical body. Remember, you don't say, I am my hand. You don't say, I am my eyes, or I am my beard if you have one. The women are right now saying, I don't have a beard, I could never be that. I know, I'm just giving you an example. You are not your body, and that's why when your body dies, it's your body that dies, not you that dies. So if you really deeply understood that, you wouldn't have a fear of death, because you know that you are not your body. So, point 7, that composes life, you as a spiritual being. That is you, the spirit, the soul that is actually running the body, which is eternal. It never dies, can never be killed, never be destroyed. And number 8, God, creator, or source, whichever you prefer of the 3. They are the 8 key components that make up life. Do you like that? Can you see how that can make sense? Yes. Excellent. Good. So there was a point in life where you started seeking, and you have seeked and been seeking many different things. But in this practical example, one of the things you initially started to seek when you were meeting me was the idea of writing a book, because the idea of writing a book could help you accomplish things that you currently don't have. The next thing that you should logically be seeking is how can you speak? How can you speak and have a bigger impact with your book? And the third thing that you should consider, especially if you want to be free in life and have more of an element of freedom and choice, is learning how to create a business. Even if the business part is not important, the other two parts of creating your book and speaking should have some relevance and importance. Does that make sense? Is this resonating with you so far? Excellent. Good. Very, very good. Yes, love it. So as you were seeking something that you don't have, because otherwise you wouldn't seek it. If you had it, you would not seek it. There'd be no need to look for it if you already have it. Does that make sense? Interesting, right? How something so simple can ring so true. You only seek and look for the things you don't have. So your book is something that creates a demand for you. Your book makes you more magnetic. Your book makes you more attractive in the workplace, in the professional space. Your book is your tool for the rest of your life. Once you have your book, or as you're even creating your book, you need to learn the art of speaking and presenting, which allows you to have more reach, more influence, more impact, if you know how. And the third thing is, well, before I move on to that, there's many layers of speaking. It's an actual art. It's something that you must learn how to do. And in order to master this art of speaking, you need a master coach. You need the skills. You need to apply the skills. You need to understand the knowledge of it in order to get the consistent results, and then you repeat the process again and again and again. You don't get successful by doing something just once. It must be something that you repeat over and over again. Are you with me? Is this easy to understand? Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. Good. Well done with the responses. You're doing a fantastic job with that. And in order to master presenting, it's an art form you must learn. You also want to gain some business knowledge. That will put you a step ahead of most people, because most people are not willing to actually understand knowledge when it comes to business. And the great thing about having business knowledge is that it can really set you up for the rest of your life and set your family up when you have this knowledge. Most people are not willing to understand it because they don't necessarily have someone to teach them in a way in which they can understand. You also want to understand, most importantly, how to have a profitable business. And most people have no idea how to create a profitable business because this is not taught. Remember, if you're not taught certain things, you're easier to control. And if you're easier to control, then you can be oppressed. You can be kept at a limited level in life. And of course, you're someone who's not wanting to be at a limited level in life. You're seeking to have a better life. If you weren't, you wouldn't be on this class. Have you ever had a great idea in unusual or funny spaces and places? Have you ever had unusual or great ideas in funny, inspiring, interesting places? You ever had that? Yes. And you'll get interesting ideas in spaces like this. When your environment is wonderful, you get great and inspiring ideas. But the most inspiring ideas come in the most interesting places, just like this. Oh, I know, it's funny. You get the best ideas when you're in the bathroom, you're in the toilet, you're in the shower, you're on an airplane, you're on the beach, you're in an event, you're at a networking event. Why? Why is it that why do you think it is that you get the best ideas in some of these spaces that I've just showed you? Tell me, why do you think you get your best ideas in some of those places that I've just shown you? In the bath, yes. Because you're relaxing, you got inspiration, you're relaxed, you're on this reflective places out of your normal environment. Very true. Sometimes during sleep, because you have a moment. That's true. That's very true. Very, very good. So again, we still have, there are like, there's almost 35 people on here. There's like 9 responses. Come on, people. I need you to think. I need you to act more than think. Respond. You have time to think because you're not thinking of that one thing. Yes, the mind is free. You're inspired. Your mind is open. Yes. Very, very true. Very true. And the reason why is because it's a space that you can easily let go. And if you know, if you watch this movie, you would understand the funny side of it. Yeah, it's a brilliant movie, very funny. It's a space that you can easily let go. And by the way, she's got diarrhea and it's coming out in a sink. Yeah, Bridesmaids, that's the one. A funny film. Successful people do this one particular act every single year. They make it a yearly practice because they know how much benefit it brings to their life. It's once a year, they do it every single year. And what they focus on doing is going to a space that's further away from their home. They get out of their day-to-day environment and they go to a space where they can really have a clear mind. In addition to that, they also get coaching because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame of, as I've said. You need someone who can help you see things that you're not currently able to see. And once you start seeing those things, you will start changing the direction and the course of your life. Because now you know you can't go back to doing what you were doing because it wasn't bringing in the best results. That's why coaching's so powerful. They help you see things that you couldn't see, that help you change the actions that you were taking before into better actions that help you improve the quality of your life. The next thing is getting knowledge, understanding the steps and the things that you need to understand and know in order to really make your life, your business, your situation, your job, whatever it is that you're doing, better and better. And the final thing is there are other missing pieces of knowledge, and you need to discover them in order to live your best life. So once a year, almost every successful person that you can think of does all 4 of these things. And because they do that, they really continue excelling and transforming their lives. You really want this. What I'm talking about is something that you'll really, really want. It won't be for all of you. Actually, all of you will want it, but it won't be accessible to all of you. There will be a handful of people on here who this will be very, very accessible for. Because I'm taking you somewhere tropical, somewhere beautiful, somewhere tropical. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be hot, especially when it's cold in most parts of the world. It's going to be away from your regular space, a very inspired space. It's going to be powerful and inspiring. You're going to have easy access to it. It's going to be led by a master coach. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's going to be led by yours truly. And the things that I'm going to teach you are going to be so powerful, you'll absolutely want to be there at my amazing 1 week wow lifestyle retreat. Yay! Type in me in the chat section, even though I've not told you what you're going to get and how powerful it's going to be. Type in only if you're genuinely interested. Type in me in the chat section if you're already interested on coming on the next Wow Lifestyle Retreat. It's going to be mind-blowing. Let me give you a glimpse into it. It's going to be some of the most powerful knowledge you'll ever have. I'm going to be teaching you something that I've never ever taught in this particular way before, and this extensively. You're going to have so much time to focus on your mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, as well as your practical life well-being. There's going to be a lot of incredible education, and there's going to be moments on that retreat that will shape your life for the rest of your life. It's going to be beyond what you've ever experienced before. Listen to what Rachel said when she came on one of my retreats. Have a listen to this.
Hi there. My name is Rachel Duda, and I just came back from a retreat with Vishal Morjaria with Well Books, and I can't even begin to tell you how amazing the experience was. I went there not knowing what to expect. I figured that we would learn about sales and marketing and things like that, but what I didn't expect was the incredible amount of love and support that Vishal provided for me, for other people in the group, because sales is not about just selling a product. It's about finding a way to help people. And a lot of times when you try to help, when you want to sell your product, you don't have the confidence to do that. You don't have the feeling within that you're worth it, that you're going to be able to help people, and that you deserve to be compensated for that. And Vishal approaches sales holistically from the inside out, and the love and support and confidence that I gained from being at this retreat is beyond anything I would have ever imagined, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity. If you want to invest in yourself and you believe that you have something important to share, I would highly recommend going to this retreat. It is worth every penny of it. Thanks, Vishal.
Wow, 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 amazing. And I can't tell you the number of times Rachel cried on that retreat. She had so many breakthrough moments, so many wow moments. Her life changed for the rest of her life. She came as one person and left as a completely different person, and it was for the better. She released a lot of stuff. Listen to what Moish said.
Hello, my name is Moish Abrahams. That's Moich. I'm an artist, that's a painter. I'm an author and a coach. I live in London in England. I've just come back from a wonderful retreat in Cyprus in the Mediterranean with Vishal, who runs the WOW book program. It was a great venue, a great resort, location beautiful, the group was wonderful, the weather was fabulous. Vishal was teaching us how to become the best we can be and to monetize that through his amazing sales and marketing techniques. He's somebody who goes the extra mile, really does want everybody to really benefit. He really cares. It's very heartfelt and with the emphasis on heart. I got back from London and I spoke to my younger brother, and he thought I'd transformed enormously. He said I was behaving. My younger brother, he's coming up to 80, so you know how old I am. And he thought I was talking and behaving like I was 20 years ago, when I also used to run workshops training people to develop their intuition as a skill. I hope this is clear, and I really commend people to get interested to discover about Vishal's work. Thank you for sharing.
Amazing, very powerful, and it really is wow. Each retreat I've done has been beyond what I could have thought of in terms of the impact and the results that people got. People were making money, people's lives changed, people released things that they'd been holding on to for decades, people started a new business, people started getting more sales. All sorts of results were coming about as a result of attending my retreats. And each retreat is different. There's a different topic that I do on each retreat. And the one that I'm doing for my next retreat is super special and close to my heart, more than the others, I'd say, because it's what really helped me take my success to the next level. And that is the art of learning how to communicate and speak, whether it's one-to-one or in a group format. Because when you understand the skill of being able to impact, influence, and help a large number of people, if you can do that well, you'll have everything you possibly want in life, as well as helping other people improve their lives. It's one of the most fulfilling things you could ever do. And I've been doing that for almost 13 years around the world now. And for the first time, I'm going to be taking you through it from A to Z so that you can understand the process and build out the whole thing whilst you're with me, guiding you on this amazing Wow Lifestyle Retreat. So it's happening next year. You got plenty of time to prepare for it. It's happening next year in October and November. It's probably, we haven't finalized the date yet, but it's probably going to be towards the last week of October, running into the first week of November. Again, we've not finalized the date, but it's going to be around that sort of time. It's Monday to Monday, 7 nights and 7 days. It's not 6 days and 7 nights or 6 days and 6 nights. It's 7 days and 7 nights. It's going to be so powerful. You'll definitely want to be there. It's going to be wow, wow, wow. Are you ready for it? Type in me in the chat section if you feel or are willing to be ready for it. It's going to be one of the most life-changing things you ever do. So here we go. Here we go. I'm taking you somewhere as beautiful as this. You are going to have the most amazing moments and experiences you've ever had. You're going to be lounging around when you've got your spare and free time to really soak in what you've learned. The views are going to be spectacular. It's going to be jaw-droppingly good. And some of those experiences will be unexpected and very beautiful. They really will. And the food is going to be off the charts. Normally, people want to lose weight when they go on a retreat. You, on the other hand, are going to be eating such nutritious, such colorful, such exotic and tropical food. You will need a belt, and you will need a belt to, you're going to need to put an extra hole the other way because you're probably going to put on weight. That's how good the food's going to be. We're going to cater for all nutrition types. So if you're a vegan, you're a vegetarian, you're a pescatarian, etc., we will cater for all, we're going to cater for all nutrition types. The food is going to be so good. You're going to love it. And you're going to eat lots of nutritious, healthy foods. So you probably won't put on weight unless you go for all the junk, because there's going to be some amazing sweet food that you'll definitely want to eat. And this is where I'm taking you. Who would like to know and see? If you know because you've seen this before, don't spoil it for the rest. Would you like to know where I'm taking you? Okay, watch this. Okay, amazing. Wow, right? I know there was a slight glitch with the sound. When you saw the testimonials earlier from Rachel and Moish, could you hear what they were saying? When you saw the testimonials from Moish and from Rachel earlier, could you hear the sound from them? Yes, okay. So it was just this video. Okay, no problem. It's beautiful, right? Did you like how amazing it looked? Looks amazing, right? Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So where am I taking you? Where is this amazing place that I'm taking you? It's very high-end, 4 to 5 stars. It's going to be all inclusive. So all your food will be taken care of. All your soft drinks will be taken care of. I'm not going to fund the alcohol, but I'll be funding the soft drinks. Are you excited? Who's excited? Type in me in the chat section or wow in the chat section if you're really, really excited. This is going to be unbelievable. It really is. And you're going to want to be there. Can you guess where I'm taking you? Don't worry, you don't need to guess. I'm taking you to Cancun, Mexico! Yay! It's going to be out of this world. It's going to be amazing. I'm taking you to Cancun, Mexico. It's going to be amazing. So it's WLR Wild Lifestyle Retreat 2026 in Cancun, Mexico. It's October, November time 2026. More than a year away, so you got plenty of time to prepare. It's going to be a Monday to a Monday. 7 nights and 7 days. Let's have a look at what else you're going to be learning whilst you're there. You have two things. You've got two types of education. You've got your formal education, which is where you go through the formal education system. You go to nursery, then you go to school, and then you go college or high school, and then you go university, etc. And that path takes you to a point where you can do okay in life and get through life if you do certain things in a certain way. Then there's another form of education that's called practical life education. And when you learn those specific skills, it can set you up to be financially free and live the life that you've always dreamed of living. And that's the angle and the vehicle that I want to take you down. I'm going to be teaching you more practical life education and specific skills so that you can do better in life. The other thing is entertainment. People go and they spend money at concerts or sporting events, and it brings in a lot of money and it brings in a lot of entertainment for people. And it's a huge industry. Which one of the two do you think usually makes more money? Education or entertainment? What do you think? Which one do you think brings in more money? Education or entertainment? Both are massive industries, but which one do you think of the two brings in more money? And sadly, yes, it's entertainment. Unfortunately, it's entertainment that brings in more money compared to education. But there is hope. And the reason why there's hope is because I've created something that is so wow, you're going to love it when you hear it and see it. It's called edutainment. It's a combination of education and entertainment. You can imagine it's like Beyonce and Tony Robbins. It's like a mix of the both. And when you know and learn how to edutain, if you ever do a workshop, if you ever become a speaker, if you can edutain people, you are guaranteed to give people a powerful experience, which can turn into giving them a wonderful experience that helps them change their lives as well as cashing in on that. And it looks a bit like this: education and entertainment equaling edutainment is like wearing a mask in the funniest places you could ever imagine. So you want to edutain people, and you must learn how to do it. You want to get to where you want in life, you need a master coach to help you. Because getting to where you want involves, number one, creating an idea. Number two, taking consistent action. Number three, creating a new idea. Number four, repeating steps 2 and 3. And eventually you'll realize results. You don't just get successful by creating one idea. You need to create multiple ideas. And that's how you start to become more and more successful. And what you want to focus on doing is developing your skills. There's a saying that skills pay the bills. It's not true. Skills don't just pay your bills, they pay for your lifestyle. If you have a lot of skills, or you have mastered a certain skill set, you will never have to worry about money ever again. So you've told me some of the skills that you'd love to know that I know, and some of you mentioned PR and marketing and public speaking and sales and those kinds of things. That's exactly what you need to know. In fact, if I was going to teach a kid one skill that would help them forever throughout their life, it would be the skill of selling. Why? Because they could go almost anywhere in the world, even if they don't speak the language, and be able to get by financially. But not just selling, they need to be ethical in their selling. And so ethical selling is one of the most powerful skills that I think anyone should know. And I would start teaching that to a young person if I wanted them to have a successful life. Does that make sense? Because if you know how to make ethical money, you will have a pretty good life. Are you with me on that? Yes? And the problem is that most people don't know how to sell. Most people don't understand how to ethically sell something. And it's very sad. Now here's something that's going to be very, very interesting for you. Why did you buy from me? I know that about 95, 96% of you on this call, you invested with me to learn how to write a book. Why did you choose to buy from me? What was your reason for buying from me? What was your reason for buying from me? I see we've got almost 35 people on here. I see one answer so far. Come on, get those fingers moving. I need to hear from you. I trust your quality and commitment. No problem, Jenna. Suzanne, Hillary Burns' recommendation. Tina, because of your kindness, authenticity, I believe in you and I could relate. Esther, I resonated with you on Facebook. I was drawn to you. Okay. Rebecca, you're such an inspiration, and I would like to be, and I want to be like you when I grow up. Andrea, Wow Bootcamp said we might have a book ready in a week. I never said that. I said you'll have a book. You can get your book done within 3 days if you apply what I teach, for sure. Not a week, 3 days. Nat, good price and quality. Joycelyn, you spoke to a deep wish I carried for a long time. Diana, I need pushing. Kemisola, delivery. Doorcash, recommendation. Amazing. So I see there's like 10 answers. I need the rest of you to respond. Why did you buy from me? What was your reason for buying from me? Trust, yes. Excellent. Good answers. Trust. Yes, another trust. Fantastic. Very good answers. Thank you so much for keeping integrity and doing what you said you would at the start, because you responding is deepening your understanding. So the more you stick to your word, you'll just notice life gets better, not just with this class, but in general. So well done for sticking to your word. Jessica, your genuineness. Linda, I felt your integrity. Yes. There are secrets on how to get people compelled to buy from you where they're happy to give you their money. And I'll share it with you in a very unique way. Would you like to know how to get someone compelled to buy from you where they're actually happy to give you their money? Would you like to know how to do that? Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. Because I'm going to share that with you in a very unique way. You must learn exactly how to do it. And I'm going to teach you at my upcoming retreat. So make sure you're there. Now we're going to focus on the following things. Number one, presentation mastery. I'm going to give you some practical tips on how to improve your presentation skills. Number two, I'm going to teach you how to create a profitable business or income from your speaking. Number three, I'm going to show you how your relationships can lead to more income. So let's start off with presentation mastery. There are 13 specific skills that you need to know and learn, and you need to also create your actual presentation, whether that's in PowerPoint format, Keynote, or slideshow. And what you want to consider when creating it is that you need to understand the difference between a good, great, and a bad presentation. So let's explore that. First of all, you need to overcome the fear. You may or may not know. You can ask Google and you can ask anyone. You can even ask AI if you want. What is one of the most feared things on the planet? And if you ask Google, for sure, I know, will tell you one of the most feared things on the planet is public speaking. And the reason why is because most people don't know how to do it. If you knew how to do it, you wouldn't be afraid of it. For example, when you get into a car the first time, you might be a bit nervous or unsure. And the reason is because you don't know how to use the car yet. Once you know how to use the car, you're confident, you have the knowledge of it, you're not as afraid anymore. And let's have a look at this. How many times have your worries, fears, and concerns actually come true? So here's how you look at this question. Throughout your life, how many worries, concerns, and fears have you had? Tell me in the chat section, how many worries, concerns, and fears do you think you've had throughout your life? Come on, I need fast responses. You're getting very slow. Yeah, lots. You've had lots of worries, concerns, and fears. Millions, probably billions, okay? How many of those worries, concerns, and fears have actually come true? How many in comparison have come true? And be real and honest, yes? Not many, very little, very few. Yeah, very, very few. You've probably had a billion worries, concerns, and fears, and not a billion of them have come true. It's probably significantly less. Even if you've had a handful, or even in worst case scenario, you had a dozen of them come true. It's way less than all the worries, concerns, and fears you've had in your life. Crazy, right? Yeah, it's nuts. So that tells you that most of your worries, concerns, and fears are not even going to happen. That's the crazy thing. And here's the other crazy thing. If a few of them do happen, you'll handle them. You actually will. And the reason why you're often afraid of speaking in a group is because your attention is on yourself. You're putting so much attention on your thoughts and your feelings. What you actually want to do is put your attention on them, on the audience. You put your focus and attention on the audience, all of a sudden you're thinking less or focusing less on your thoughts and your feelings. Does that make sense? Is that useful? Yes. Excellent. Good. Very good. Let me show you an exercise, how powerful this is and how much it makes sense. What I want you to do is I want you to get one of your hands, and with your other hand, and I want you to do it just so you get the idea of the exercise. I want you to pinch yourself on the side of your hand on this part as hard as you can. And yeah, it hurts. It hurts. Do it so that it actually hurts, okay? Like, cause yourself a little bit of pain. Can you feel that? Did you feel that when you pinch yourself with your nails on the side of your hand? With your nails, it actually hurts. Type in me in the chat section if you just did that. Yeah, actually pinch yourself. You need to do it to understand what I'm saying. Yeah, you can feel that. Now what I want you to do is I want you to pinch an object like the couch or the chair or something else. Which one was more painful? Which one was more painful? Pinching yourself or pinching that object near you? Like if it's a couch or a chair, for example. Obviously, if you're sticking your hand in a pin, that might hurt more, but you get what I'm saying, yeah? Yeah, when you pinch yourself, it was more painful than when you pinch something else. And the reason why is because the attention was on you, your body, something you're very closely connected to, whereas this other object and item, you don't feel what it feels. Does that make sense? So that's why you have to put your attention on your audience rather than yourself. That will prevent you from choking. That's a very powerful tip. Now, the next thing you want to do is when you're creating your presentation, is you want to avoid endless text because you will forget, you'll choke, you'll get overwhelmed, and you won't be as effective in your presenting. Because if you just stand there and you read loads of text on a slide, it's boring. No one wants to pay attention to that. That's why you get death by PowerPoint. And you know what? You even get death by PowerPoint, which is, sorry, you get life after death by PowerPoint. It's crazy. And life after death by PowerPoint is 666 slides created by the devil. That's how crazy it is. It's not fun. It's not good. You don't want to have too many slides. What you want to do is be dynamic. You want to be animated. You want to cover the main points. You want to make sure that you have images. You want to make sure that you have humor in your presentation. And the key thing I want to point out is humor. Even if you don't think you're funny, you can actually do things that make you funny. Because if you don't laugh, I'm going to call my bodyguard. And my bodyguard is super dangerous. He will rip your ears off. I mean it. You want to meet my bodyguard? So you better laugh. Otherwise, my bodyguard's going to get you. Look how mean he looks. He's ferocious. So you better be laughing throughout my presentation. Less is more. Less is what? Yes, less is more. Excellent. Very good. Rule number 1. If you don't ask questions, we can leave quicker. So don't ask too many questions. Just give me your money. I'm just joking. Who likes the English language? Type in me if you like the English language. Excellent. How about now? Yeah. When someone corrects your grammar, it's one of those looks. What day of the year or of the week was English art created? Do you know what day English art was created? If you don't know, it was created on Monday, Lisa. And after a heavy, heavy weekend of drinking, that's when English art was created. When you know, you'll have more fun and play. You will create more influence. You'll have more income. You'll have more results. And you'll actually have the life that you want. You really will. Who's getting more and more interested in getting results like this? Type in me in the chat section if you want results like this in your life. Amazing. Good. What's one of the main differences between me and a lot of other speakers? What do you think is the difference between me and a lot of the speakers out there? What do you think? What comes to mind? You're open, you're real. You're a real human. Yes, it's true. Interaction. Yeah, very true. So again, there's almost 35 people on here, and I have 1, 2, 4 responses. So I really need you to engage and respond. Very important that you do that. And the reason why is because you're going to get more from it. When there's a study done that if you just sit there and listen, you don't retain much. But if you interact whilst you're listening or watching something, you will retain far more than if you don't. That's why I get you to interact a lot. Honesty, interaction, confidence, authentic, interactive, very interactive. Interaction is correct. Yes, interactive. Okay, good. So one of the main differences is that I really care. I really care about you progressing in your life. I really do. I have integrity. When I say I'm going to do something, I really do my best to follow through on that. And the other thing is I have ethics. For example, I would not sell you something that is not right for you. So for example, this retreat that I'm doing, half of you on this class should not come on it. Why? Because you're not willing to do what's actually required to get the results you want in life. Of the other half, you should definitely come on it. But some of the other half will not be able to afford it. So there's maybe only a handful of people on this actual class that will, one should actually be there, and number 2 will afford to be able to be there. I don't want you to come if you're not willing to do what's required to get the results that you want, because you're wasting your time, energy, and money. So what I'm saying, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to this presentation, because you will learn a handful of things from this presentation that will help you on your journey in life. So there are some of you that I wouldn't sell this or offer this presentation to and this opportunity to. I would, let me rephrase that. I would definitely get you on the presentation, but not all of you would be right for this retreat, because it just wouldn't work for you, because you wouldn't be able to do what is required and you wouldn't be willing to do what's required. So I wouldn't just take on anyone. Pauline, you're genuine and want the best for us. Exactly. Irish patient, no problem. Extending conversation. Yes. And the other thing that I do is I create wow moments. I really help you create shifts within yourself that can help you move to higher levels. Do you want to learn how to do this? Do you want to learn how to become a professional speaker that impacts lives and actually creates a side income or a full-time income doing this? Yes. Excellent. Good. There are 3 common models when it comes to the speaking industry, and I will tell you the basics of how they work. Esther, this is my calling. Yes, I know it is. That's why you're here. Yesko, I would love to, but cannot afford it now. Well, Yesko, you don't know the price of it. What if it was actually affordable? So you don't know at the moment. Don't assume. In Africa, there's a saying, assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. So don't assume because you don't know yet. So, but we're not talking about money right now. I'm talking about teaching you and giving you further insights and knowledge. So, there are 3 common models in speaking. The first one is a sales speaker. A sales speaker is someone who has a product or they have some kind of service that they are offering. And so what you do is you would get your product and service, you'd put it in a presentation, you'd present it to a person or a group of people, and you would sell and offer that to them and make money doing that. Now you can make a lot of money being a sales speaker if you're good, like a lot of money. In fact, some of the best paid people on the planet are salespeople. Not just sales speakers, salespeople. But if you are a sales speaker and you know how to sell to a group of people, wow, it's the potential is unlimited. And anyone can learn how to do that. Number 2, a keynote or a motivational speaker. A keynote speaker is someone who's usually accomplished something extraordinary, like they're an athlete or they're a famous author or they're an actor, someone really famous, someone who's accomplished some crazy thing in their life. And what usually happens with a motivational keynote speaker is they get paid a lump sum fee before they turn up to speak and maybe even get some of their expenses covered. So they might give you 10,000 to show up to speak for a day or an hour, depending on who you are and how well known you are. They pay for your hotel and your flight maybe. And yeah, you can go down the route of being a keynote or motivational speaker. Now, it's quite rare that you meet an ordinary everyday person who makes a lot of money being a keynote motivational speaker. It's usually people who are already very famous that are making the large amounts of money keynote and motivational speaking. Unless you're an exception to the rule, like a Les Brown, for example. It's not impossible, but it's just a little bit more difficult to get paid larger amounts of money. And then the third type of speaking is a public speaker. And a public speaker is someone who's learned how to speak in front of a group of people, and they simply stand and talk about any random subject in front of a group of people. The problem with a public speaker is, even though they have some oratorical skills, they don't make much money. They hardly make anything, if anything at all. So you don't want to aim to be a public speaker. What you want to aim to do is be a keynote or a motivational speaker, or you want to learn to be a sales speaker or a professional speaker. If you're a professional sales speaker, and anyone can learn how to do that, you can make large sums of money really helping people. Is it useful for you to know those 3 speaking models? Type in me in the chat section if it's helpful to know about those 3 different models. Yes, Mimi, excellent. Good, very good. There's a lot more to it than just skills. There's a lot more to it. What you also want to learn is the idea of what a business is. A business is an idea that you have created or are creating to help people solve a problem. And if you can solve a bigger problem, you can get paid more money. You solve a smaller problem, you make less money. And what you want to do is turn it into a profitable business. And most people have no idea on how to create a profitable business. The way you think, speak, and behave are determining the current results that you have. I'll say that again. The way you think, speak, and behave are determining the current results you have. Let me demonstrate this. Who wants to make a lot of money helping people? Type in me in the chat section if you want to make a lot of money helping people. Yes, me, lots of people, of course. Can you make a nice burger? Do you think, type in Y or N if you can make a nice burger. Type in Y or N if you can make a nice burger. Okay, yes, N, yes, N. So lots of yeses and a handful of nos. Okay. Excellent, good. A few more no's, a few more yeses. Okay, great. Let me ask you another question that will get another interesting response. Can you make a better burger than McDonald's? Type in Y or N, yes or no. Do you think you can make a better burger than McDonald's? Do you reckon you could make a better burger than McDonald's? Lots of yeses. Excellent, good. Yeah, exactly. You can make a better burger than McDonald's. Okay. So why? Okay, let's look at it this way. How much do you reckon McDonald's make? How much money do you think McDonald's make? Yeah, a lot. McDonald's make a lot of money. Would you agree? McDonald's make billions of pounds, dollars, and euros. Not millions, billions. If you look at the revenue they make from their 20-odd thousand restaurants around the world, it's billions of dollars, pounds, and euros. Literally billions. So why aren't you a billionaire? You just said that you can make a better burger than McDonald's. So why aren't you a billionaire? Why do you think you're not a billionaire? Interesting, right? You said you can make a better burger than McDonald's, and McDonald's are billionaires. So why are you not a billionaire? The point I'm making here is you have missing pieces of knowledge. You actually have missing pieces of knowledge. And once you have that knowledge, you will see that your potential is unlimited. And one of the reasons why McDonald's are so successful is because they've systemized. They have a step-by-step approach to doing certain tasks within the business. And what that means is that a person in Singapore, a person in LA, a person in London, a person in Paris, a person in Hamburg, a person in Cape Town, a person in New Delhi can go and work for McDonald's and make more or less the same kind of burger wherever they are, because McDonald's have a system. It's a step-by-step system, and when you have a system, it makes it easier to scale and grow something that you've done, as well as replicate the results. So there's one secret key you must have in order to create a higher level of success. Would you like to know what it is? There is one secret key you must create in order to create a higher level of success. It's the secret key that I use to create Wow Bootcamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you at the retreat. So make sure you're at the upcoming Wow Lifestyle Retreat. Remember, it's October to November 2026, Monday to Monday, 7 nights and 7 days. You need to be there. There's a handful of you that need to be there. And you might be thinking, oh my God, Vishal, I know you're so expensive. You charge so much for your time. Don't worry about the money for now, because I have come up with a way where it will be so affordable. There'll be a handful of you on here that will actually be able to come, and you'll be able to afford to actually come. Type in me in the chat section if that's getting more and more excitable for you and more exciting for you. I'm going to make it so affordable you'll actually be able to come. And I'm giving you plenty of time to get prepared for it. Yes. Any employee in any McDonald's store worldwide can do the same thing as I said. Most unaware biz people and professionals are focused on money out. They're focused on the wrong things. They're focused on money going out that isn't going to bring much money coming in. For example, they're focused on business cards. They're focused on websites. They're focused on leaflets. They're focused on getting the right staff in place. They're focused on making things perfect. They're focused on perfect office, having the right colors, creating the right font, focusing on the spelling and grammar, making sure they've got all the certificates and qualifications in place. They think they need to have all the equipment, all the contracts. They spend weeks finding the perfect name. They spend so much time making the product perfect, and many other things. All of those things are not going to bring in the money. In fact, they are more expensive. They cause more debt. They take more time. They create more stress. And they bring in less success and less happiness. The best way to learn is not from a textbook, not from a professor. The best way to learn is from someone who did it, from someone who does it, and from someone who's still doing it. Because when you can learn from someone who's been there, done it, and is still doing it, it will fast track you on your journey to get to where you want. You want to learn from the best, not the rest. Most businesses take 3 to 5 years to break even if they're lucky, and then they profit. Because most businesses don't survive 3 to 5 years. The statistics are 90% of businesses don't survive into their 3rd to 5th year. Crazy. So that means when you start a business and you've got no knowledge or not much of an idea of how to get successful, you've got a 90% chance of failing. That's crazy. But when you have someone who's successful guiding you, the roles reverse. You've now got a 90% chance at succeeding. What I'm talking about will save you hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions. There's a book, Isaac, called The E-Myth. You should read that book and you'll see the actual statistics. It's a brilliant book by Michael E. Gerber. It will save you hundreds of thousands. He's a successful businessman, by the way. What people learn in a 3 to 7 year uni course with a 50 to 100,000 debt won't learn what I'll teach you in a week. Why? Because I've made more money than probably all of you combined, and I'm probably younger than most of you. And the reason is because I invested in myself. I learned from some of the best people in the world. I got the knowledge that I needed in order to get the results that I wanted in life. And you've seen where I've come from. I came from a poor background. I had a lot of challenges. What helped me turn my life around was the fact that I was willing to do what most other people are not willing to do. I was willing to invest in myself, to learn from other successful people who have been there, done it, and are still doing it. And then as I went on that journey, I learned things that I knew would help you. So what I'm going to teach you will be better than what you'd learn on a business course in 3 to 7 years with a massive debt at the end of it. So would you like to know the secret to making a business profitable from day one? Who would like to know the secret to making a business profitable from day one? Because it's actually not hard starting a business. When you have the knowledge, you can actually create something and make money from it. Very possible. Make sure you're at this upcoming Wow Lifestyle Retreat. The unexpected factor that affects your income, your relationships. Your relationships will determine how well you do in life. Your relationships are the connection between two or more beings or things. Because you can have relationships with a person, you can have relationships with objects, you can have relationships with other beings, other creatures. Your relationships will determine your income. Your relationships will also determine your happiness. How do you determine the quality of your relationships? The way you determine the quality of your relationships is by your willingness to communicate, to love, to call, to meet, to ask and give help with no ill feelings. There's a very, very powerful process. There's multiple steps to it. I want to do a couple of steps with you right now. I'll do a small part of it with you now. I want you to write down how you're feeling at the moment. So just write down how you're feeling about one or two relationships that are not optimal. So I want you to bring to mind one or two relationships that are not great or that are not optimal. And I want you to write down how you feel about them at the moment. So again, you don't have to share this with me. It's a personal exercise. You do it on a piece of paper. Just write down the name of a person, one or two people, where your relationship with them is not optimal. It's not a good relationship. So bring to mind someone who you don't have a good relationship with. Write down, how do you feel about this person? Okay. Write down, how do you feel about this person? Okay, once you've done that, type in 1 in the chat section. Excellent, very good. Brilliant. Very important that you do it, okay? Next, this is my humanitarian gift to you. It only works if you do it, okay? It only works if you do it. So you've brought one relationship to mind that's currently broken. It's not great, not in a good place, okay, with that relationship. You've written down that person's name. I want you to go back to before the relationship started to break down. So before the hurt happened, I want you to go before that. Because before any break, there was togetherness, there was love, there was the opposite. So before the broken part, the hurt, the damage, before that, there was no hurt, there was no damage. There was a lot of goodness, more goodness than badness. So go back to that point. I want you to write down all the good things about that person. Now, this is going to be tough, going to be hard for you to face, but I want you to write down all the good things about that person before that difficult situation happened. And you really need to do it if you want to get benefit. I know it's hard, but you should do it. Write down all the good things about that person. I want you to make a list of all the good things about that person. And you really have to remember the good things about them. Because I know you'll have put them to the back of your mind. You have to bring them to the forefront. Very important. Once you've written as many good things about that person, I want you to write 2 in the chat section. If there's anything else that comes to mind, please write it down. So remember, this is the person that you've not got an optimal or a broken relationship with. Write down as many good things as you can about the person. And once you've done that, type in 2 in the chat section. And if you've already typed in 2, I want you to continue focusing on anything else good that you might have missed about the person. Now, if you had some kind of shift, you may or may not have. If you had some kind of change in how you're now feeling about that person, type in me in the chat section. If you notice something shifted or something changed, type in me in the chat section. You notice any kind of shift, type in me in the chat section. Excellent. Me, with one person, me. Good. Excellent. Very, very well done. Now, that's not easy to do. And there's levels and layers that are even harder. I'm not going to go into them right now. But by doing this and you doing it fully, it will not only heal certain wounded parts of you, it will help you in many areas of your life. Who's willing to experience a major breakthrough that could really change many areas of your life? Type in me if you're willing to experience that. Yes. Me. Good. Excellent. Are you sure? Are you really, really ready to experience a major shift that will set you in a new found direction to take your life to a place you'd never even expected you could go? Without question, no matter what, you must be willing. Your income will change. You'll be happier. Your life will change. It will only work if you actually do it. How? Make sure you're at my upcoming Wow Lifestyle Retreat. And I guarantee you, it will be one of the most life-changing, life-transforming experiences you'll ever have. This is not even the beginning. If you don't learn how to fix some of these issues, you are set for a disaster. You really are. Make sure you're at the upcoming retreat with me. It's really going to be life transforming. You'll be learning, you'll be applying, you'll be getting the results you want, you'll have the knowledge, and that will enable you to create transformation that lasts a lifetime. This was from one of my retreats. It was in Sicily. It was amazing. The next retreat was even better. It was in Cyprus, and the topics we covered at each of these retreats were both different. And now at this retreat, it's going to be amazing. So much fun, so many life lessons, so much practical, applicable knowledge. You're going to be getting coaching that's going to help you see things and discover things that you didn't know. Because a coach helps you see things you couldn't see for yourself. It's so valuable, it's invaluable. You won't be able to unsee the things that you'll start seeing. When you know, it's easy. When you don't know, it's hard. When you know, it's easy. When you don't know, it's hard. I've invested over £100,000 in my education and development, and I still keep investing in my education and development. In fact, I am going to South Africa at the end of the month, and I am investing such a large amount of money, and I'm doing that because I want to continuously keep being a better version of myself. And it's a lot of money, lots of money, a lot. It's over, I'll tell you, in fact, it's going to be over 35,000 US dollars. That's how much I'm investing in my education. So, and that's just for a very short period of time. That's how committed and dedicated I am to myself and to you and all the other people I'm helping. That's how dedicated I am. And that's made me millions. Investing in myself has made me millions. So if you want to make more money, I would highly recommend you start investing more and more in yourself. Listen to what Hillary says. I know one or two of you know Hillary. Listen to what she says.
Hey, this is Hillary Burns, and I'm back home after the lifestyle retreat with Vishal. And what I loved about it was learning about the sales steps and learning about doing the right thing and how I wasn't necessarily always listening to people. What I gained most from Vishal was learning, everything, well, not everything he knows, but what he knows about sales and marketing. Obviously, the exercises that we did to get free from the past were very powerful. Burning our papers at the beach was really cool. I loved his gentleness and, that he does the right thing, that he really cares about us. That is really special. The tangible results were that I made a trade with someone for our services and that I'm continued to coach with Vishal, and I've already gotten some leads in my in what I'm doing. So that's pretty cool. And why would I recommend the retreat? Well, it's great people. Like, we arrived as strangers and we left as family. And it was really, really great to watch everyone transform. What I learned was that thinking about something it sucks. Thinking sucks, but action is fun and it makes a difference. And I still forget that, but I can remember that because when we were practicing what we didn't think we could do, we were just having fun and laughing, and we really learned a lot. I got freedom from the past. We all started either speaking French or English that we didn't normally speak. And it was just great, watching people transform. Meeting Vishal's parents was awesome. And just being with everyone was really great. So we learned a lot. We had a great time. It was in a beautiful place, and I recommend the retreat to everybody. Thank you.
Amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. So private coaching with me for a day is £20,000, 25,000 US dollars, 25,000 euros, plus the VAT and tax. So if someone wanted me for an entire day, that's the fee that I would demand. Private coaching with me for an hour is 4,000 British pounds or 5,000 US dollars or euros, plus the VAT and tax on top. Let me tell you what you're going to get at the Wow Lifestyle Retreat in Cancun, Mexico in 2026, next October, November. Before I tell you what you're going to get, who here is really interested in coming? Type in me in the chat section if you are like, I need to be there. I can see it's going to help me. It's going to be life-changing. I want to be there. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to be a part of this journey. Type in me in the chat section if that's you. Again, it's not for everyone. There's maybe a handful of you that it will be good and right for. Excellent. Me. Okay, good. So let me tell you what you're getting and what's included at each level. On the left-hand side is what you'll get. On the right-hand side are the two different levels. So the first thing you'll get is the high-end 4 to 5 star accommodation. At the pro speaker level, which is the first level, it will be double occupancy, meaning that you'll be sharing with someone else, unless you pay for your own room. On the other side is the Superstar Speaker Deluxe level. That level is the top level. And at that level, you will have your own room. There is maybe one person, maximum 2 people in this class who will probably be eligible and ready for that level. So you get your accommodation included at both levels. The second thing you get is that it's all inclusive. You get your food, your 3 meals a day, you get your soft drinks included. That's included at both levels. The third thing you'll get is powerful education. There'll be classes each and every day, and they will be included at both levels, both Pro Speaker and Superstar Deluxe level. The fourth thing you'll get is me as your master coach. You'll get me at both levels. Of course, at the pro speaker level, you'll get me for the main classes, and whenever I'm free and available, you'll be able to catch a hold of me. And those of you who are at the Superstar Speaker Deluxe level, again, just 1 or 2 of you, you will have unlimited access to me throughout that week. That's included at both levels. There is a support call 1 month before the retreat and 1 month after the retreat. And the purpose of those calls are the following. The call 1 month before the retreat is to get you prepared to get the most out of the retreat. The call 1 month after is to follow up with you to see how you're progressing and what kind of results you're getting from the retreat. That's included at both levels. The next thing that you're getting is a special massage on the beach. That is included at both levels. By the way, it's not me massaging you, even though I've been told I have magical hands multiple times. It will be a professional masseuse that will be massaging you on the beach, and that will be an amazing experience. That's included at both levels. The next thing you're going to get, again, this is at both levels, is there'll be a surprise excursion with me. So I'm going to book something amazing that's going to be brilliant, that's going to make you say, oh my God, this is so incredible. I'm going to book something like that. I will pay for that, and you will be on this excursion with me. Whilst you're on this excursion with me, I will be in a very inspired space. We will have a special session. And when I'm in these kinds of atmospheres and spaces, I come up with brilliant genius ideas, and I will give you personal guidance and coaching on what you need to do to get to the next step of your life. It's just, every time I've done this, people were just like, oh my God, that alone was worth it. So that's included at both levels. The next thing is remember, even if you have nothing to pitch, meaning nothing to sell, by the time we get to this point, I will have helped you create something to sell and pitch. So you're going to have an opportunity to pitch your business to the rest of the audience. Each person there will have an opportunity to pitch their business. That's included at both of those levels. We've also got a couple of people who are French-speaking people. So we're going to have an interpreter there. That's going to be included at both levels. So we'll have 1 or 2 French-speaking people. We'll have an interpreter for them. That's included at both Pro Speaker and Superstar Deluxe. So that's everything you get at the Pro Speaker level. The Superstar Deluxe is the highest level. Again, this is maybe for 1 or 2 of you. Here's what you get at the Superstar Deluxe level as additional benefits. You will get one of the best hotel rooms in the entire hotel, and it will be single occupancy, meaning it's a room for you. You will have 1 extra day of coaching with me worth £20,000. So it will be you and 1 or 2 other people, and I will invest in a whole extra day. So after the 7 days, you will have an extra day with me. I'll spend an extra day investing in you and teaching you how to make your presentation the best it could be. The next thing you'll get is a personalized presentation review with me. So what I'll do is I will not only review your presentation, I will record the tips and the advice so that you have that forever to keep. The next thing you're going to get is a recording of your presentation, and I'm going to record you presenting so that you have a copy of it so that you can watch it and learn from it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you additional coaching on how to refine, improve, adjust, add things in your presentation that will get you an even better result. Whether it's financial, whether it's influence, whether it's impact, I'm going to add that in there for you as well. The next thing you're going to get is you will have dinner with me every single night. You'll be on a private table with me. I'll spend some private time with you, and you can keep tapping into my mind, getting lots of coaching, lots of advice, get as much help as you want on your business, on your speaking, on your life, on where you want to go. All of that, I'm there for you. Lots of personal attention. And finally, I'm going to have a massive wow gift from me to you that's going to be so useful for the rest of your life, and you'll be able to use it again and again and again and again. And it'll be something that I will gift to you, and it'll be very, very special. So that's everything you get. Type in wow in the chat section if you love the sound and look of that. All you need to do is pick which option you want. Whichever option you pick, it will be a great decision. And again, it's not for everyone. There's maybe a couple of you, a small handful of you, that this will be great for. If you ever get a super early bird offer, grab it fast before it goes up. Now I'm going to tell you something very transparently. This retreat was supposed to happen this year. However, and I've already got a handful of people who have invested in this retreat. Now, what I decided to do was I decided to reschedule it for next year, because what I'm going to teach is something that I've never taught before in the way that I'm going to teach it. I've taught people a little bit how to speak, serve, and sell, and it's got them outstanding results. And that was a 2-day course. It was very quick, going over a few things and giving them some help. But this is the full thing. This is where you're not only going to learn how to speak, serve, and sell, you're actually going to create a product. You're then going to create the presentation. You're then going to practice that presentation in front of a live audience. You're actually going to have the opportunity to potentially make money from practicing and applying that presentation in front of a group, people, a live group. And then you're going to have that skill, that business, that opportunity, that knowledge that you can use for the rest of your life again and again and again and again, and keep doing that. I've never taught the whole thing from start to finish before. So you're going to be the first group that ever learns how to do this. Wow. At the retreat 2026 in Cancun, here's what you're going to get. You're going to learn and start mastering your speaking and presenting skills. Next, you're going to actually create your presentation in that week. Next, you're going to learn the skills and overcome the fear with my support and guidance. You're going to learn how to edutain effectively so that when you're presenting, people are loving it. They're really involved, they're really engaged, they're laughing, they're giggling, they're retaining what you're sharing, and it's really going to help them. The last thing you want to do is be a boring speaker, and I'm going to teach you the opposite of doing that. You're going to practice your presentation, and you're going to sell your new or existing product. You're going to learn how to create your own profitable business. You're going to discover the missing pieces of knowledge to skyrocket your success. You're going to recover broken relationships, increase happiness and income. You're actually going to make money. Each of my retreats that I've done, people have always made money on the retreat. You're going to have lots of fun whilst improving your life. You're going to have a new lifelong family. You're going to create a lasting transformation and lots more. This is amazing. You're going to love it. You're definitely going to want to be there. Remember, 2026 Cancun, Mexico. It's October to November 2026, Monday to Monday, 7 nights and 7 days. Make sure you're there. Let me tell you what's not included so you're absolutely clear. Number one, your flight is not included. And the reason why it's not included is because we've got people flying in from across the world. So you'll need to find a flight that works for you and your schedule whilst getting there on time. Number two, and look, if you book in advance, you're booking 3, 4, 5, 6 months in advance, Cancun's quite cheap to get to. Number two, your transfers are not included unless you're at the superstar deluxe level. Then for those 1 or 2 people, your transfers are included. Otherwise, if you're at the pro speaker level, the first level, you will get your own transfers from the airport to the venue. Mexico is quite cheap, so it's not going to cost you a lot to get from the hotel to the venue. And if you'll be in a group with other people, a WhatsApp group with other people, you can organize, if people are arriving at a similar time, you can split the transfer with them to make it even more affordable, even though I don't think it's going to cost much for you to get from the airport to the venue. Number three, your insurance is not included. So once you register today, because I'm going to give you an amazing deal, a once in a lifetime deal. Once you register today, very, very quickly you'll want to get insurance just so you got some protection, just in case anything happens. So those 3 things are not included. Everything else is included. Bonus number 1. If you decide to register today, I'm going to give you an extra session with my coach worth $10,000, and that's going to be done live at the retreat. You're going to love that. My coach is unbelievable, out of this world. Bonus number 2, if you register today, you're going to get your own Wow Lifestyle Retreat assistant, meaning one of my team members is going to be available for you for anything you need in regards to the retreat. So for example, you might say, oh, Vishal, I don't know what I'm going to wear. I need help with my wardrobe. So then you just speak to the Wow Lifestyle Retreat assistant, and they will guide you on what you need to wear and what you should bring and whether you need sun lotion and all that sort of stuff. Another thing that they'll do for you is, and I want you to have the experience of what it's like having an assistant. So what they'll do for you is you'll say, you know what, I want to experience what it's like being a CEO. I want to experience what it's like being a business person and having an assistant. So you'll be able to call them and say, hey, listen, I want to get some flight options on this day. Give me 2 of the best options or 3 of the best options. They'll do that research for you. They'll look into the best flight deals, and then they'll present those flight details to you, and they'll call you and they'll book your flight for you. All you have to do is read out your card details, send them a copy of your passport, and they'll do everything else for you. So then you'll have an experience of what it's like having your own assistant. So you will get your own Wow Lifestyle Retreat assistant if you decide to take off this amazing special offer that I'm about to give you today. So what's the value of this retreat? If you worked it out, I charge £20,000 a day or 25,000 a day. You worked out over 7 days, it's £140,000 plus the VAT and tax. It comes up to almost $200,000 if you were to hire me one-to-one. Now, of course, no one here is going to be able to afford that. It's too expensive. Who here would love a mega discount? Who would love a mega discount? If I made this really affordable, if I made this super duper affordable so that you could actually come, type in me if you'd love to come to this. Because I may never ever teach how to become a professional speaker ever again. Yes, lots of me's. Excellent. Here we go. Pro speaker is only $29,997 plus the VAT and tax on top. Wow, that's a big discount. The Superstar Deluxe is only $49,997 plus the VAT and tax. At the Superstar Deluxe level, there's going to be an extra private coaching session with me worth 4,000 British pounds, 5,000 US dollars. Yes, that's amazing. And here's my promise to you. To ensure that you get maximum attention and quality of time, I'm only accepting 1 to 4 people at the Superstar Deluxe level. That's my guarantee. I'm not going to take any more on than that. I've already got one person from last year who's taken up one of the spots. They've already invested the full amount in one investment. So I can take a maximum of 3, but there are not 3 people on here who are going to be able to do this anyway. Who would love my special wow discount and deal? Who would love it? This is my extra special deal. You're gonna want to grab this. It's a one-time only deal. My super early bird discount. It's not in pounds. It's only in US dollars. I'll say that again. It's not in pounds. It's only in US dollars. So that makes it even more affordable. Wow. You can write it off as a business expense. So if you have a business, if you have a company, you have an accountant, you will get proof of purchase and you can write this off as a business expense. So you can not only have a holiday, because it's going to be intense. There's going to be a lot of education, a lot of classes, but I will give you some time to relax. I will give you some time to enjoy the surroundings, the scenery, a little bit of time off. So you'll be able to have a business trip whilst writing it off as a business expense. That's what wealthy people do. Wealthy people don't take holidays or vacations. They have business trips because they can write it off. Wow. Bonus number 3. This is the best discount and deal, super early bird Vishal special you'll ever get. So don't wait, don't delay, grab it fast whilst it's there. Here it comes. The Pro speaker is only $4,997. Wow, that's amazing. It's only $4,997 and that's in US dollars. Remember, there's VAT and tax on top. That is a bargain. Incredible. And if you can't afford to do it in one investment, I'm going to do an investment plan for you. Now, with this, almost every person that really wants to come will be able to afford it because it's only 15 easy monthly investments of only $367. Now, here's what I'm going to say to you. If you're really struggling financially and you've got a little bit of money and you want to invest in yourself, what I'm willing to do for you is I'm willing to accept a $367 down payment today to lock in the special deal, and then you can work out a customized plan with my team. So all it is, if you think about it, it's only $367 to secure your place. wow, I've never done that before. I just thought of doing that now because I want you to be there. I don't want you to miss this. It's only 367 bucks. That secures your seat. That gives you a whole 15 months to figure out your finances. So it's only 367 bucks to secure your seat today. That's unbelievable. That's wow. There is a little bit of a interest added on if you do the investment plan. So the 4997, if you can afford it, that's the best deal. If you do the investment plan, it's more affordable, but there is a tiny amount of interest. You won't really feel it, especially if you split it across multiple months. That's wow. That's like under 300 quid. It's like 270 quid or something like that. It's bargain. Secure your seat to my amazing Wow Lifestyle Retreat. You can't go wrong. You really can't. Remember, there is VAT and tax on top. If you want your own room at the pro speaker level, it's only an extra 1200. So if you want an individual room for just you only, it's an extra 1200. Otherwise, you'll be sharing with one of the other guests. Remember the VAT and tax on top. Now the Superstar Speaker Deluxe level, again, I've only got 3 spots left for this. It's only 9997. Only 9997. Remember the VAT and tax on top. One person has already made that investment in full. They did it last year. So that one spot is already gone. That's the best deal at the Superstar Speaker Deluxe level. Now the mega bonus is that this is only for the fastest to act. If you want the Superstar Deluxe level, remember there's only 3 spots left. If you take it up today, the upgrade is that you're going to get 1 entire extra day of coaching from me. That's 1 whole day worth £20,000, 25,000 US dollars. And if you want an investment plan, again, this makes it more affordable. It's only 15 easy monthly investments of $737. And to secure the deal at the Superstar Deluxe level, you only need to put down $737 today. Wow, that's amazing. That's so affordable. Remember the VAT and tax on top. That's brilliant. That's amazing. Really, really good offer. I won't offer it this low ever again. It's only because we are 15 months away. So I'm making it super, super affordable. Bonus number 4. This is for only those of you who decide to invest today. If you invest today, I'm going to pay your VAT and tax. That saves you another 8 to 20%. If you make the investment today, I will save you on your taxes and your VAT. In England, VAT is 20%. Taxes, it's 8 to 20% depending on where you are in the world. So no delays, join today. If you want to join, I want you to email right now or private message Tam and tell her you're interested in the WLR 2026. So you need to email or private message Tam and say in the subject WLR 2026 and say you're interested. Do that now. You definitely want to be there. Now it gets better. Why does it get better? Who here usually goes on a family holiday once a year or once every 2 years? Type in me if you go on a holiday once a year or family holiday at least every year or every other year. Yes, me. Excellent, good. I know most of you go on a holiday once a year or every other year, for sure. Now here's what I'm going to let you do. Because every one of my retreats, we usually let people bring their families or their children or their spouse or their partner or their husband or their wife. So if you want to bring your relative, your child, your husband, your spouse, your partner, a friend, then we'll let you bring an adult guest, whoever it is, for only $14.97. What does that mean? It means that they can share the room with you. They can come to all the meals that we have together as a group. It's just when we're in class they will have to do their own thing. So they'll go to the beach, they'll go and do an activity, they'll stay by the pool or do whatever they want to do. It's just when we have the class that they won't be able to be with us. Otherwise, the rest of the time they can hang out with us, they can be with us, and you can make it your annual family holiday. What if you have children? If you have a child that's 16 or under, you can also bring them for only $9.97. That includes all their food, all their soft drinks. That will be included for them. Only $9.97. You can add in your adult guests later. You can add in your children guests later. What you want to do is register yourself. If you really want to come, you should register yourself today. And the way you do that is by emailing admin@wowbootcamp.com. Add in the subject WLR 2026. Do that now, don't wait. In fact, what I'm going to do, as I always do, is I'm putting a 30-minute timer on this. So there's a 30-minute timer for anyone who messages within this 30 minutes. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to lock in this deal. So if you want this deal, remember it's only a few $100 to secure your space. You can figure the rest out later. Whether you want the pro speaker level or the superstar deluxe, email us, contact us, grab this deal. It will be amazing. You definitely want to be there. For a few $100 to go on this life-changing retreat, you need to be there. There's a couple of you for sure, and you know who you are. You should definitely be there. So don't delay. Figure it out. Get there. You only need to make a couple £100, dollars, euros down payment today, and you're in. You can figure the rest out later. Lock in the deal. Grab it. I can't wait to help you improve your speaking, to create your presentation, to create your product and service, refine it if you've already got one, and then start making some income through your speaking. It's a wonderful opportunity. Grab it whilst you can. Okay, great. Now email if you're interested or contact Tam. Do that now. Don't wait. Those of you who are not coming on the retreat, what I want you to do is continue creating content. For the next 30 minutes, your focus is on creating content. Those of you who are registering for the retreat, go ahead and do that. Once you've done that, send that email, communicate with Tam. Once you've finished doing that, continue creating content. At 10 past the hour, we'll resume. Yay! 1 or 2 people have already messaged to say they want to get into the retreat. Amazing. Excellent. Yay! Can't wait to help you at the retreat. The rest of you, email, contact us, and otherwise focus on creating content, and then we'll move on to the next part after 30 minutes. Thanks for listening. Make sure you reach out if you're interested.